Thank you for allowing me to share this platform with you.
Wonderful.
In the Indian economy segment, you discuss the concept of appropriate technology. I want you to shed more light on the concept. Actually, when we talk about technology, I discovered that many people narrow the scope of technology down to digital technology. As we know, technology is an application of scientific knowledge to achieve whatever a better result on whatever you're doing. And the digital technology has to do with the tools, the devices that can generate, that can store, and that can process data. So in this light, what is actually the concept of appropriate technology?
Yeah, wonderful. You know, as you said, technology, broadly speaking, is the application of scientific knowledge, you know, for practical purposes. So that's, I just sort of want people to be familiar with it, you know, to not think of it as something arcane. Yes. And so essentially, when we are talking about appropriate technology, we are looking at the technology that we can use suitably based on the set of resources, skill sets that we have available, whether it be in our community or in our country. So for Africa, since that's essentially what we're concerned about here, in hidden economics, what I was trying to bring attention to is the fact that we have some of the technologies with us already. The cell phone is a primary one.
Yes.
And it is appropriate for us because we don't have the bigger kinds of technologies. We don't have the big industrial complexes. We have the cell phone. We can use it literally for anything. We can use it to attend school. We can use it for information if we're farming. You know, that the authorities can send information to us on our phones. Mm-hmm. And I've told people that there is something called tax-specific human capital. So you don't have to get a PhD to be said to have human capital. So you could, I think that our people in our communities, in our rural communities, can be trained to use a cell phone for a number of purposes, especially in farming, or for financial transactions, you know, with their banks, as for mobile banking. You just tell the person, there's this app here, there's a logo on it, press it, something comes up. When that one thing comes up, press number 2, something comes up, press this. Then you give them their account number, whatever number, they write it down, they have it, they know how to just punch it in, and you get the result. So essentially what it is, appropriate technology is about the kinds of skills and resources that we have available.
What are the roles human capital and appropriate technology can play in the development of Africa? Because when you look at the statistics, talking about the unemployment rate, for instance, let's consider Nigeria as an example. The unemployment rate is 33%, a little above 33%. But when you look at the age bracket between 15 and 34, it's higher, it's around 42.5%. Now, this sends a message that in every 2 persons you gather within the labor force, 1 person is unemployed. And this is becoming a serious issue. Even in South Africa, it's even higher. It's about 46.5% in South Africa. So what role can human capital play and appropriate technology in addressing some of these issues to move Africa forward?
Wow, Mr. Kunle, this is a very packed question here. Now, this pretty serious type question because it has many components to it. And let's first of all look at the unemployment situation, let's say in a country like Nigeria. And I'm trying to discuss this with some states. There's some states, for example, let's say Lagos and Rivers State, they have high rates of unemployment, sometimes versus some other states not so industrialized. The problem there is not so much because they don't have human capital. The issue is because of lack of jobs. They don't have openings. There are no vacancies. And there are no vacancies because, that is relatively speaking, because a lot of people have come to the area, seeing that the area is industrialized. So they have come from everywhere, you know, for the vacancies that they had seen, and then they soaked up those vacancies. So they no longer have the vacancies, so the unemployment rate goes up. It's not so much because you don't have human capital, but because of the imbalance in the labor market. But let's go to the issue of human capital and appropriate technologies. What I'm trying to discuss in this particular case is that we want to have an increased amount of human capital stock. So we want to, if we want to be globally competitive, we want to speedily increase our human capital stock to have more people that have knowledge. That knowledge could be in the form of formal education or on-the-job training. So we want to increase the skill sets that we have. We want to have a larger stock of that. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that let us increase the stock of capital. And because of that, we will be able to have more capital available, and then therefore more ideas for the application of the knowledge that we have got. So we have more opportunity for the application of the knowledge, and that's what will give us the increased economic output that we desire.
How do we leverage the digital economy to improve our business and economic and productive efficiencies? Because when you look at what is happening around now, the world is evolving, everything is changing. Even Mark Zuckerberg had to release the metaverse recently. And if you look at the metaverse, virtual reality, it talks about bringing people, you are having a meeting with someone inside something like I call a box, but it is more real. All the physical gestures are being captured in that reality. Now, how do we leverage on digital technology so that we can improve our efficiencies?
As you know very well, that we're in the so-called fourth industrial revolution phase, where we are said to have, we're still not said to have, we do have a fusion of the physical, the digital, and the biological. All these things are coming together. All of these things are well integrated now. So the problem with the so-called concentration on appropriate technology is that what is appropriate? Do we get stuck by what we consider to be appropriate today? Will it be appropriate tomorrow? Should we continue to just use the hoe or the machete because that's what is appropriate today? So essentially, we can't be stuck today with the sort of skills that we have and the sort of space that we have. We have to be dynamic in the way we look at the matter. Otherwise, as you just mentioned, the advanced economies led by people like Mark Zuckerberg and all these other guys will get even farther ahead of us and we won't be able to catch up because they're going to have all these innovations. They're going to be able to produce much larger volumes of stuff. So their productivity is rising, their quality is increasing, and then we're stuck with the little machete, with whatever it is that we were using. So we have to be prepared to reskill and to upskill. So as we use what is appropriate today, we got to recognize that that is today. That's what we are using today. But for us to stay competitive, we got to be able to catch up with this guy. So we must have innovations. We must be training our people.
Wow, Prof, it's been a wonderful time with you on this segment of the show. Thank you very much. And stay with us. Don't go away. Prof will be back shortly.